afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacaster. My host, Imperial Dane, your lord and master of propaganda here of Select Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to an exciting 1 vs 1. In fact, double features, so 2 exciting 1 vs 1s. First, we've got Luvnest versus Stuven, and then up next, Angreifen versus Twisted Tootsy. So 2 exciting matches right here. First up, though, against Stuven versus Luvnest, the Red Army versus the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. The third mechanized corps tasked with shattering the German lines held by Stuven with the, let's just say 7th Panzer Division here, using defensive, close air support and mobile defense with triple infantry versus Luvnest Guard rifle with penal trooper guardsmen and sniper bulletins. We got a double engineer start here for Luvnest, and we got mobile defensive for Stuven with grenadiers and MG42s setting out here to swiftly seize the territory as he heads up with the Strafniki. Usually more see penal trooper starts though versus the Oberkommando West. I mean, they do work versus the Wehrmacht, but they don't necessarily work quite nearly sufficiently due to the Wehrmacht's access to MG42s and a few other measures. But anyways, Luvnest rushing for the centre, going to wire off the truck they denied to the fascists. Ha! This way they will not be able to use the truck. Dimitri, that truck is going nowhere. You're denying them cover. Oh, I guess I was wrong. Yes. And the South engineers heading up, continuing for the fuel pond there. First engagement, Grenadiers versus Engineers. Grenadiers should win the match, but it's going to take a bit of a while to use the heavy cover and all that. But still, could be useful here for Luvnest to use a much cheaper unit, in this case 170 manpower to stall a 240 manpower. But obviously, as you might notice, there's a limit to how much they can stall, but still it could have maybe stalled for a few moments longer. In this case, the Luvnest, being the player is, decides that is not worth it, just falls back. Got consequences of penal coming up here. He doesn't know where one squad is, so he might of course realise this could be isolated, in which case his penal troopers can easily win the engagement. So good decision making there by Luvnest, sharp, and certainly I think catches Stuven a bit off guard there, who possibly should begin thinking there was something like this on the way, since he didn't see any conscripts at all, just engineers. But there you go, Grenadiers easily being here with the penal troopers. Engineers assisting certainly does not help Stuven's situation there, as Luvnest unleashes the full might of the Red Army upon his head. So there we go, Stuven trying to react to this is quickly finding himself being a bit outmaneuvered here by Luvnest, who just keeps up the pressure, keeps up the momentum, pulling in more Grenadiers here though for the fight, but some of them seemingly heading southwards. As Luvnest is heading the opposite direction there with a lot of his troops as well. Just going to keep pressure on, he's going to try and deny Stuven here fuel. Very aggressive, but good move there. Oh dear, the MU-42 is up to deal with engineers leaving the flank utterly open to the penal troopers. Not a good development here for Stuven. Not entirely sure that was an attack new order went wrong or what happened there, but that's a very easy job there for this penal troopers. They're quickly dispatching it. Second penal troop not being held back by the pioneers, but even that is pretty debatable, since, you know, I mean, at this stage he's just grabbing the fuel point and shooting from a face distance. Like, the pioneers can't harm them at all. More grenades running around the car point to try and defend it in the fuel point, though we'll see how much damage Luvnest can do anyways. It's also wide off the cover here. Oh, that's actually Stuven, never mind. So Luvnest can't use it, but even then, Grenadiers pulling hit. The penal troopers are taking damage, but still not fast enough to allow the Grenadiers to push easily full of fuel. So there you go, Strafniki pushed away. Great aggression harassment there by Luvnest in the first few moments of the game. Engineers seizing turrets from the south, and I imagine here Stuven will be taking out fast to go for some vehicles. Since with vehicles he can, shall we say, more aggressive turn things around, since that would force Luvnest into have to upgrade his penal troopers with anti-tank routes, which of course mean they'd be more vulnerable to infantry. Stuven, by the way, they're going for a second pioneer squad up with this. Pioneers thereby need to retreat, that he's going to need another pioneer squad on top of that. He wants 2 pioneers. Luvnest, Strafniki are giving their best for the motherland. Best as they can, anyways. Grenadiers are pushed back by the squad holding up. We got murmuring in here from the north, might try and flank about here to put pressure then on Luvnest's penal troopers. His Strafbat. Against the flamethrowers ready to flank Stuven and just give him further of a headache. The MD-42 theoretically is ready to deal with this, but note the way Luvnest is moving up. In this case, though, he's just running off here to decrease the amount of passes Stuven can take. Sneaky Luvnest. Back here, the tech up dumb, he's going to need the light to make a nice company up. Schnell, he actually cancelled the pioneers, it is worth noting. Back in Luvnest base, we got the medics up there. Now the engagement going to lose was the penalty was once more. The penalty land heavy hits over this with the 40 semi-automatic rifle, leaving Stuven's Grenadiers decimated. A strong strike there. And Luvnest right now is in control of most of the map thanks to an aggressive, but I would also say well played penal trooper start here. Like to make a nice company. Straight into the half track. This is obviously going to be the flame for half track, since that's going to be useful versus all these penal troopers. Even if they go for anti-tank route, the flame for half track is a strong choice versus most basically sort of light anti-tank infantry. So even if Luvnest also there calls in the guardsman, he's going to need a lot of anti-tank routes to really stop down the flame for half track for any amount of time. So the flame for half track here, besides just being, well, in most cases common meta choice, is also really strong here because, well, Luvnest doesn't exactly have anti-tank grenades or anything else. He doesn't have access to field guns, so he's lacking a lot of these, shall I say, more useful counters in some senses. Though again, anti-tank rifles do work, but the flame for half track can do a lot of damage to the unit before it gets off any serious hits. Stuven's going to need it though, because he's certainly facing a lot of pressure here from Luvnest, and the map control is still not exactly looking in his favour. Oh dear, Pioneer's caught. They're trying to lay down sandbags on the centre victory. Points going up to achieve. A bold attempt here, but done. Not quite working. And there you go. Half track arriving, of course, signalling to Luvnest what's coming his way. So far, the note turning. Oh, there we go. Anti-tank rifles on the way. Flame for half track almost done. That's going to be toasting up Luvnest troops. Oh dear, bulletin. There we go. He's going to pop off the satchel charge first. Stuven spots it. Still, there could be a risk of losing the Stravniki. There we go, almost fully wiped. Strong display then, certainly shows why the flame for half track is such a popular choice, especially if you don't have any serious anti-tank threats. There you go, got a wipe. So Stuven here is now pushing Luvnest on the back foot. Of course, got the anti-tank rifles ready, and again they can do some damage. You can see they again, due to them being infantry, they're also quite vulnerable to the flame for half track, lighting most of the territory on fire. Continue standing about here up north, going to secure the northern victory point. Stuven is heading back, but he's about to get hit by the T-70, and the flame for half track in that regard does slack a bit of your hit counter that. He could of course find himself forced here to go for Puma for mobile defense to counter that one, unless he's already planning out with a Pack 40 or Telemines. He isn't. Instead we got the 222 here for Stuven. We could still follow up here with Telemines, going to lead to the watch up north. Tank command almost done there for Luvnest, and the 3rd Mechanized Corps ready to smash the fascists asunder. And we got the half track there being fixed up. You know, Fritz, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how good a thing is, you know, welding near, that's essentially a large fuel tank. Yeah, well, I mean, if they can get shot in it, I don't think welding it's going to cause any harm. I'm not really convinced by that explanation, Fritz. Well, you know, Ludwig, you lose some, you win some. More machine gun there for Stuven to help contain Luvnest infantry, though again, getting wiped this early on is still pretty handy. So far, Luvnest bar is not going to be able to replace it, though he might consider guardsmen with some DP light machine guns. Pilms from up again, taking the is no cover for them though, by the way, means the Pilms have a good advantage since they are on cover. Flame fire check being rushed in. We got the T-70 out here though for Luvnest for the Red Army. Blitzkrieg forwards. Luvnest is clearly on watch for any mine from Stuven, since the Telemines would mean a very abrupt end to his light tank adventure. So I can certainly understand here why he's making sure he's got minesweepers up. Comparatively, Stuven is not particularly showing much concern there. Ooh. Could get a grenadier wipe, but no. It works out there for Stuven. Fortune favours him. And far up north, you've got the two dealing with engineers cutting down the rations like rats. There we go, first guard squad out here for Luvnest, also first Sunny actually chosen a doctrine, which is so far the last been unsigned. Comparatively, Stuven has yet to reveal anything about his doctoral choice. There's been no counter-attack tactics, certainly no pan-tactician, and there's been no Ostorm or anything like that, and obviously can't go for the Puma yet. 2-2 firing out the T-70 off a few hits. Flame for half track on the move again, there's 7 kills, half it with 2-2-2 going in for the T-70, shots firing, armor penetrating being penetrated here by the 2-2-2, as the autocannon rakes off hot death, and there, good rated from the T-70 on it. Grenadiers on watch, and down south we've got the flame for half track going for the anti-tank penal troopers. It's backed up by the machine gun though, they are suppressed and can't easily respond here to the flame for half track, since units that are suppressed, amongst other things, get a much lower rate of fire. And they cannot really deliver a lot of defensive fire. So, good move there by Stuven. Didn't quite get a wipe, still did a lot of damage. That's going to be a bit of a match for some time. or Guardsman halted by the MD42 setting up. Here's a Stuven, of course, thanks to the flamethrower tech, but also the 2-2, having thusly by more mobile elements than Luvnest is able to push back on the field. Medic bunker up there, though he might still want to consider Pack 40 something of deal with the T-70 unless he is planning a Puma. Whoa, Luvnest is going boldly in, committing to double T-70s. That is incredibly ballsy. But guess is that Luvnest here is going to try and go all in and just try and shatter Stuven before it becomes too much of an issue. Though, if Stuven were to then go for a Puma, he might be in a troubled situation, and he does have that option, at least we know. But Luvnest does not necessarily know, though. I'd not be surprised if Luvnest, of course, has deduced he's either already gone there, maybe, or at least there's a chance that he hasn't chosen, can easily choose it. So he's obviously doing this. Unless, of course, wasn't paying attention to what Dr. Stuven had, that, you know, there's a potential Pumas to counter it. So it's a pretty interesting choice there from Luvnest. Pretty interesting. There we go. Second T-70. Light tank out there for Luvnest. MD42 having away the engineers, got the T-70 striking in from the north. Good flanking position here on the MD42 there for Stuven. Gonna leave arriving. Flamethrower taking moving ahead, but that's, I mean, got to deal with the infantry supporting the T-70, but obviously not stop the little bastard tank itself. There we go, Luvnest second T-70 light tank has arrived on the field. Opening up there, the wrecked Stug there is slowly, at least the snow on this wrecked Stug is slowly giving up. The Stug itself stands tall. Two planes are flanking on the T-70, getting some damage in. They still need something heavier. Could he be planning pantry checks? Not, but he does have panting on these at least, which of course are pretty good as an infantry. Starting to charge from the 2-2. Ah, Scheiße! 2-2 gone, trees those stand tall. So that was a pretty good engagement here for Luvnest, bad for Stuven. Machine gun about to get knocked out by the double T-70s. There you go, wiped out. Flamethrower to at least get some more wipes in Luvnest infantry. And again, it's starting to look like a Puma, and there we go. Stuven here basically presses the panic button. A little light goes off somewhere behind the front line and a Puma rushes to the front. Alarm! There we go, Guardsman getting scorched horribly here with a flame for a half track. Turns out their coats are not made of asbestos. As Stalin otherwise had promised they would be. Stalin is a bit of a lie, it seems. There we go, T-70 taking out with the Puma. Of course, this is right the issue where Luvnest is in a bit of a situation. He basically, you know, took the risk, and I guess it turns out either he was bad at math or he didn't particularly care about the risks. Either way, the loss of T-70 very swiftly. Puma goes down to less than half health, can't pursue the T-70 number 2. Of course, there's the other side of the coin, which I guess for Luvnest is he's basically with this move forced Stuven to have to go for the Puma, which delays his tech for medium arm, and this could very well be part of the plan for Luvnest. Like, a Valorant player that's not necessarily disrupting the fuel flow can theoretically push for medium arm fast enough, and of course Luvnest might have been worried about that, so the double T-70 could have been this strange gambit from Luvnest to try and force out the Puma there. Maybe, I don't know. It might in fact be a bit of a far-fetched possibility there, theory there. Could grab the rifle here. He did get an MD42 though, which is pretty good. He's going to help versus Stuven. Puma though is still going to be a problem here for this T-70 light tank. Fun fact about the 234-2, aka the Puma, it actually wasn't produced in large numbers because ultimately the German High Command was really worried about the crews would begin using it like a tank, and so they basically stopped production and began focusing on armoured cars with sort of larger guns but in hand no turret like the 234-4, which had either a sort of Sturmkanon, as was known, or Pack 40 mounted on them, sort of meant to back up the 234-1, which is basically this armoured car but with the same cannon as the 222. Fun fact. So the Puma overall, while being very represented in company heroes, wasn't actually, you know, that typical of an armoured car. Guardsman against Starfleet in this case, almost getting the flamethrower after there, which would have been a bit of a blow there to Stuven. To the 7th Panzer Division. He is taking up though, but again it has been delayed by the forced move there into the Puma. Panzer gun is sitting about, machine gun sitting up in the church, maybe able to flush it out a bit with a grenade, though flamethrowers would probably be better, or a mortar for that matter. I mean, he does have the flamethrowers, but they need repairs. Did go for the grenade here, but didn't have much of an impact on the machine gun. Well, it damaged them a bunch, but didn't quite, cause any like severe casualties there. Pulling up with the Panzergrenadiere, flanking in. And the South T-7 cleaving the area there. Baschus 3. Another head-on assault here from Luvnest. He might want to consider mortar if he had the tech for it. He could still take, of course, but at this stage, I imagine Luvnest is going to try and pull ahead for the next tier then, as fast as possible after having successfully drawn out a Puma. Again, assuming that's the case, then Slinger maybe get a lead and armor. Panzer there being shredded by the Penal Troopers and the MD-42. There could be about against Stuven, which would be pretty harsh and unpleasant. He's going to move in. I think the Puma to pop smoke. Yes! Nice save there by Stuven. A rare use of Pantactician, not to save the unit itself, but another unit. Thumbs up there. It is a way of using Pantactician, but it's one that is ever so rarely utilised. But I feel it does display something a bit higher there from the player in question. Luvnest laying down mines here to try and stop up any counterattacks from Stuven. Good play. Pilms are taking minor losses. There you go. Flamethrower attack back in action, and Luvnest immediately forced retreat here as his men are enveloped in a self-propelled inferno. T-7 moving ahead, need the Puma on the spot, Veteran on the flamethrower half attack. Ace Flampanzerwagen. Gosh, another getting scorched horribly. Pretty risky here by Luvnest, and does almost suffer a follow-up. Then the Guardsmen, they are barely alive after that one. Does someone smell fried chicken? No, and how do you even know that smell? We're from Soviet Russia. Engineers moving ahead there, and we got Ostrom on the way for Stuven. Interesting choice at this stage. I'm guessing he doesn't think he can get the Superman cart and anything out from anyway, so he's just going to try and push an infantry front now by committing extra, just cheaper infantry on top of the Grenadiers and the Panzergrenadiers. It's a definitely interesting move there by Stuven. And certainly would mean he's on paper got more infantry than Luvnest, so obviously again, two of the squads would be rather subpar to, most Luvnest infantry. But again, it can be useful to just try and see small harass better. Panzergrenadiers get caught by the T-70, should probably retreat about now, but it seems like Stuven is really intent to grab that point a bit. Back here, base in reinforcement, mine goes off. Almost taking out the Puma. Good work mining by Luvnest. Very good work. And there you go, T-7 trying to finish it off here. Pretty bold move. But in this case, Stuven is just barely able to salvage his Puma from total annihilation. Otherwise, he'd been in a pretty sticky spot here. Still hasn't got the Superman cart. He's got no other anti-tank weapon. So if he loses the Puma, he's in for a really rough ride. Mechanized armor company on the way for Luvnest. Still nothing there from Stuven and the Superman cart. Flampanzer doing what he can here though. 15 kills, not bad at all. Grenadier Panzergrenadier moving up, of course we're getting about the T-7 that is covering the flank here, it seems. Oh dude, those Guardsmen are not having a fun time just to two men. Machine gun now the next victim of the Flampanzerwagen. Grenadiers Panzer moving up here. No panzer section of the Panzergrenadiers. Oh, incendiary pinch line gets the flame for half tech faster than Stuven can realise what's going on. A bold move here by Luvnest, but it works out perfectly. For him that is. Terribly for Stuven. There we go. Luvnest ends up being the first player with a tank, despite again the double T-70s. Though again, I do suspect that was a move made to force Stuven again to go for the Puma. That way again, buying Luvnest more time tactic to take ahead there. And Stuven so far though, still hasn't built the support. Of course, going to need it sooner. Pro might have to go for Stuves here. Also mounting a valiant defense on the northern victory point. The some poor bastard ends up dropping dead in the process. T-34 is almost done for Stuven. Pioneers going over the center victory point. Grenadiers backing up. Puma also on watch. And we got the Befehls Panzerwagen here for Stuven. So anything, another indicator that things have not gone at all here for like Stuven wanted to. Since going for the command tank, while in some ways does buff up the troops more, it just means he can't go for regular armor, meaning if Luvnest just keeps pushing for regular armor in large numbers, which as a SOT is very well positioned to do, Stuven could end up being swamped without being able to respond very well because again, like, he's only got the Puma to try and stop the T-34 and the T-70. So this could end up very unpleasantly there for Stuven. And there you go, T-34 strikes for the Red Army. For Comrade Stalin. Going there for the Ostrom. Shattering through Stuven's front lines here in the north. M4 setting up with incendiary precision rounds. Not really going to stop the T-34. There you go, nasty hit there. Almost collapses the building. Command tank is not really achieving much on the T-34 from 6, truth be told. Got the Puma moving in. There we go, some hits. They could try and target weak point. Incendiary precision rounds coming in for reporting. There we go. Main gun up. We got air support though in here. And there you go, T-34 abandoned. Oh, that's a bit of bad. We have Luvnest on the other hand. Possibly got two bullish here versus Stuven. Stuven saw an opportunity. In this case, got lucky. An abandoned T-34. Oh dear, we got more guards close being right up. But the Punch Grenadiers sweeping in with assault rifles. And, they get away. And now then he loses a squad somewhere else. Looks like, in fact, he was... Those were his pioneers. He's got no way of actually repairing the T-34 and putting it back into action. And there you go, air support actually takes it out, meaning it's, never mind, an issue there for Stuven. And of course, not an issue for Luvnest either, since that got dealt with. So in the end, that worked out for Luvnest, I guess. They still lost the T-34 pretty swiftly. Ostrom there being overwhelmed here by Luvnest men. Then we got Panzer trying to flank up behind them. A nice move there. Then we got Guardsman hitting the dirt, and he's got nothing to immediately support the Panzer Grenadiers against this. Your pro time in the command tank to flush them out, then keep the Panzer Grenadiers on the retreat path, that way trying to wipe out the units. But the sign of the command tanks being occupied, here's Luvnest is just pushing through the centre as well. And we got the T-9 heading northwards, and that's going to wipe out the Panzer Grenadiers there if Stuven is not careful or just really unlucky. Certainly quite a chaotic fight here. Command tank moving up, low and healthy. Both of Stuven's armoured vehicles have seen a lot of damage, a lot of action. And Stuven seems to be struggling a bit here to keep up with Luvnest's pace, and Luvnest could very well soon be going for a KB1 heavy tank, at which point the Puma's just not going to be able to do it, in which case, again, if Luvnest was intentionally trying to draw out a Puma with that move, I mean, that's just a double stroke because of genius it is, because, again, not only does it delay Stuven from taking up, again by doing that, which again if it was in the intention, but also very importantly, the Puma is not very good versus the KB1. It just has too much armor, plus again due to this, damage reduction, the Puma just does even less damage to it. So the K1 is going to be a really strong choice. So again, if this was all intentionally played out by Luvnest, that was pretty damn clever. He's moving up against the Grenadiers, firing away. Ace T7 there, by the way, a nightmare there for Stuven's Grenadiers. And Stuven, by the way, also cutting off, Luvnest cutting off Stuven from fuel as well, very good. But Luvnest definitely seems to be aiming for the K1. He's almost got the manpower for the fuel is already there. Ostrom versus Guardsman in the south, that's not going to work out well with that machine gun. There you go, in this case machine gun they're trying to fight, but it is heavily outnumbered and this position is not amazing either. Time seems to be running out here for Stuven as his men are dying and he's just struggling to come up with some sort of solution to Luvnest's antics, as Luvnest just continues to seemingly in some cases be several steps ahead of Stuven. In particular, again, if all of this was just planned out with the Puma and everything, I mean that's just, good God, puppet master level of plays. Got the command tanker running against the penal troopers and it's getting straight up satcheled. You could at least keep the moon try and catch up with it, but instead it doesn't, so it just ends up with a damaged engine. So I think indicates a bit of desperation of Stuven that's actually willing to do it like that. And there we go, Luvnest going for the KV1. Got the MD-42 fighting away here, veteran fleet, 12 kills for the Ordina. And as they're being shot to bits. Okay, healing enforcement going on. KB1 almost down there, and Stuven just has... Oh, he's going for tier 4 now. Oh dear, that might have been part of an ambitious plan, but right now, said ambitious plan, it seems, has collapsed. So I'm definitely sure that's not going to work out very well. I mean, he can then upgrade the Ostrom with like machine guns, which could help out a bit. The problem is just, it's too late, I think. K1, they're heading out for Luvnest for the bit enemy. Come on to the opening guardsman. Great hit on the Puma from the K1. There we go. Pension hit on the K1, but it's just... As you might be noticing, the K1 isn't particularly worried. Again, the Puma is doing very little damage. And that is if it penetrates. 2059 left here for Stuven. Then he's charging force, and there you go. GG, game over. As Stuven seems to realise this is a lost cause, Germany here has to fall back. So nasty fight here again. I think possibly again highlighting Legion as some very smart long-term play there by Luvnest. Again, the whole double T70 draw out the Puma, and then again setting up for a K1 again. If that was absolutely intended, that was absolutely beautiful there from Luvnest. Good play with the penal troopers, good flanks, good maneuvers, good pressure there. Stuven struggling there with I think a too wide opening versus Luvnest, was able to exploit and just also that way gain an advantage. So there you go. First out of the double feature matches there. We are right back in a moment. So strap yourself back with some more nice cold beverages, or hot if that's what you prefer, and get ready for the next part. See you in a bit. And welcome back here to the second part of this double feature. And the setting is 1944, somewhere in the Ardennes. The German army marches forward against the American lines as Twisted Tootsy with the 1st Armoured here. Divisions trying to counteract, push back the Germans, buy some time for some beleaguered defenders somewhere caught in the snow terrain. But Angreifen here with Germany behind him will not fail, or will he? Pushing out here though with the 116th Panzerdivision Winhund. He marches ahead here with Spearhead, Mobile Defense, and Blitzkrieg versus Twisted Tootsy's mechanized, and mechanized. Double Infantry Panzerfaust versus Bazookas, Dodge Trucks, and Infantry. And we got the double Racing Rifle start here as usual, straight to mechanized their form obviously. Double Pioneers are here for Angreifen, looking to seize more territory with an MD-42 backing out. Heading into the south aggressively here, wiring off the truck there. And we got the first Dodge truck ready for Twisted Tootsy. It'll be interesting to see how Angreifen handles this, because right now he's got no Panzerfaust to counter it, because again he went for the double Pioneers first. I mean, it means he can seize more territory faster, but again it does mean the Dodge truck is going to hurt a bit more in some ways, unless you can see him somehow catch it up really well. So far no grenadiers, but there you go. Got the MD-40 being hauled forward. Dodge truck rushing ahead, and there you go, immediately ruining Angreifen's wire work. Haha, goddamn Krasnik, goddamn wire. Ach mein Gott, Ludwig, so's barbarians, ja. I spent so much time on that wire. Dodge moving in there, backing into the Pioneers, who are certainly not in a good position there. Canoes are arriving and retreating there. Not much else to do unless he wishes to risk getting the white, which would certainly not help out Angreifen in the early moments as Twisted Tootsy. Grabbing the Northern Nations, MD-40 remains in a wall-watch position, but might try and do something else. He could be more aggressive, or try and bang up here to support the rest of the Dodge truck. There you go, Grenadiers moving up. Can he get willing ready to pop up for the Panzerfaust here? Ooh! Angreifen using sandbags himself to basically improvise a tank trap there against the Dodge truck. Very cheeky play there. MD-42 joining in, leaving Twisted Tootsy's force in a bit of a state of disarray. Dodge truck does go down. Still got it. Pushing back the crew and the riflemen actually don't, but then said they can rush for the house here, leaving Angreifen with that bit of a tricky position to deal with. Grenadiers pulling up here for Angreifen. So double Pioneers, double Grenadiers, and then one MD-42 versus double Riflemen, and double rations there for Twisted Tootsy with a spare vehicle crew. More barbed wire up here. Interesting way he's doing it there. I guess there was a planning for some tank traps, instead it just didn't end up with it, and now I don't know what he's exactly doing there, except just laying down wire. I guess it's just to make it harder for Angreifen to beeline straight for the cut-off point. Running into a lot of risk, and they try to push there for Twisted Tootsy's cut-off point. No, Twisted Tootsy cuts him off from that attempt. Cheeky. Will Angreifen consider Mort here versus Twisted Tootsy? What will he do next? And will Twisted Tootsy, for that matter, consider committing to a second Dodge truck? But it does seem like he's taking up there already, and that will, I think, with 95% certainty, there we go, be the lieutenant into an anti-aircraft half-track. Third gun is squad almost done. Fourth, Angreifen wiring off here, and there you go, Dodge truck out. Shots being fired here. Car 98K standing out against the right from there. The church resounding with the sound of shots. There you go, he does commit to second Dodge truck, adds the 50 caliber and pops in lieutenant. More motorized madness here for Twisted Tootsy. Wait, why is this called mechanized if we got motorized vehicles? Just shut up, Charles. It's high command. They want to sound fancy. Anyways, truck rushing ahead against the gun inside the church and before turning up, though I'm not entirely sure how fully effective that's going to be. I imagine Angreifen should, there we go, already taking up, and we're setting up a light to make a nice company because he most likely will want to counter into the Dodge truck. One that can sort of catch up with it. Nor the victor points east with Twisted Tootsy though in a sneaky maneuver, well played. We got mines push up for Twisted Tootsy and anticipation for any mines Angreifen might be laying down. Good foresight there, good foresight. Good players anticipate the other bastard laying down mines. So far the Angreifen's not really working too much better since the Americans can't lay down any big mines. Usually most anti-tank mines of the larger kind, so that's obviously less of a priority for Angreifen. And used in that sense, the Americans use the ones we can sort of relax with, though there are some players increasingly going for anti-tank mines, so it's not quite as safe to not go for any mines at all, but you're still not going to see it get badly punished against compared to about a player who might lay down a teller mine, which then destroys your vehicle. Got the bunker up here. Soon way to get some medics out there to help Angreifen. Like to make a nice company, though it's still not happening. Should probably be happening fast. And there we go, we got the anti-aircraft half take out Twisted Tootsy, so they're not losing a moment there to just push it out. Up north, fuel secured, ground the munitions here as well. Back here, healing enforcement, like to make a nice company action now going up here for Angreifen. Certainly quite a bit of downtime. It means Angreifen's territory very wide open here to Twisted Tootsy, but at the same time he obviously wants to be ready to actually counterattack properly without necessarily being forced away there because his men are in such a poor state they can't sustain an attack for very long. So I mean, there's an argument for both sort of cases. Still, he's going to have to work a bit harder here, and I guess it does help out that Twisted Tootsy can't lay down regular mines with his doctrine. I mean, theoretically, if he goes for the half-tech, pops out the assault units, he can, but that's still a bit of a longer path. But there you go, to the two out for Angreifen. He might need a couple more to help deal with the half-track, unless he's got other plans for putting that one to rest. Noting that Angreifen has yet to commit to Dodge, and got the Dodge going in here. I mean, if he had not eventually, he could pop incendiary pistol rounds, which would help counter the half-track, but right now it's not quite there. Push to the south here. Twisted Tootsy dug in behind the tank, trapping there going before two as the anti-aircraft half-track. Super close to the Vetsancy and the incendiary piercing rounds, but it's not quite there. Tootsy goes ahead up north here, fighting for the fuel point there, which Twisted Tootsy was successfully able to harass and put a bit of dampener on Angreifen's attack adventure. Scrums between Grenadiers, probably might want to get the elements of flanking, then grab back point later there. In the south, Tootsy going for the rifle squad. Pioneers sort of trying to appear supporting, but just flanking, but being too far away to actually do anything good. And there you go, pushing for the cut-off point. Note a small gap here to sort of theoretically go through, but most likely opened up by either Angreifen or Tootsy by accident. Truck Tootsy doing northwards rather than almost taken out. Close one there for Angreifen. At least the fuel is back under his control here versus Twisted Tootsy. And Pani's caught here by the anti-aircraft half-tech by Twisted Tootsy. Up north, 2-2 again for the V crew. Blasting through the walls and the windows with the auto cannon. The Dart Strike is still operable, but not seeing nearly as much action as it used to. Then he's caught, and we got a pack for him there for Angreifen. He's not going to commit to a lot of 2-2s this time around. Still will be the good old pack 40. Die Panzer Kholodny Ferma. Enemy reinforcement there, trying to push for the cutoff point, but is encountering some stiff resistance there from Twisted Tootsy. Back here, nothing further going on there, noting no ambulance yet. Oh, for that matter, any sort of like weapon racks, grenades. Lots of things here that Twisted Tootsy could be doing, but so far does not quite seem to be doing. Which is great fun. God, at least that way you should have picked up the pace and should have been putting back hard. I think against Twisted Tootsy, you should have a good chance there. There we go, wiring off again the cutoff point there a bit harder. Right versus Pioneers in the west, that should be winning there for Twisted Tootsy and his GIs. And there you go. Oh God. 2-2 took down the aircraft there from Twisted Tootsy. There's a marked vehicle. That was glorious. Anyways, Rifleman vehicle crew heading northwards there. Twisted Tootsy, I imagine, reeling a bit from that unexpected loss after having been kamikazed by one of his own. Panzer Gunner there following up for Angreifen. Pack 40 shoots, misses. Mark Panzerfaust here, and there you go. Just hits the gas and gets out of it. Half checking in northwards in the south, nothing there. So Angreifen cooked through it, trying to harass a bit more. Panzer Gunner though should have a bunch here, in particular versus Twisted Tootsy so far does seem adamant in not getting any bars out, though he's certainly expecting this and then bazookas, sitting up there for bazooka buses as always. Tootsy going straight for the rifle up north by the victory point. Grenadiers backing up here, though the Grenadiers themselves not quite being able to keep on much longer. Pretty risky move with the 2-2 to be honest. I mean, he could recommend an anti-tank grenade that damages the engine, and there we go, leaving an easy target for, say, bazookas or the half-track, but Pack 4 in this case saves the 2-2's hide. In the south we got a big push here though from Angreifen. Panzer Grenadiers, Pioneers sweeping through here, even as Twisted Tootsy's folks in the north. Angreifen hits south. Also noting a fuel cache here from Twisted Tootsy at some point. Not a bad move at all. He's taking up fast. He's going to try and rush out the 76mm Sherman. That way try and outrace Angreifen. It's going to be interesting to see. Angreifen, by the way, so far has yet to take up. Got the Dart Strike just swooping right past here. Bazookas flying out there. Going to get the two really try to. Bazookas just missed. He's going to have to pop out. The vehicle is going to lose the Dart Strike here, and the vehicle gets whacked because there wasn't just the 2-2, there were the Panzer Grenadiers right next to the 2-2. A wall of fire, which the re-echelons had no chance of really surviving. So some heavy loss there for Twisted Tootsy. Lieutenant could go down. There he goes. Gets the Dart Strike at least out of the way. He's going to try and get that Leica Puncher Speedwagon out of commission as well. But gets caught by an MD-42 as well. Heavy damage there. Two Twisted Tootsy rear stunts. We did see another wipe here, which would be quite harsh. Uncovered by there, forcing it to face over here to be better able to catch the rear stunts instead of trying to follow through here. Clever maneuvering in this case almost paid off, but still, had he just allowed some machine gun to follow naturally, would have gone through here and then there, in which case definitely had no chance at all. So well played there by Angreifen. Well played, even if it did not pay off. Back here we got rear stunts on the way. A 50 caliber as well here. Still no bars there for Twisted Tootsy, but then again he wants all those bazookas, so I guess that's going to be where all the mission continues to go. And we see there Angreifen's Pioneers get a bazooka. And taking out as well. Sehr good, sehr good. Sending on his rounds wouldn't be a half bad choice. Then we see that I think Twisted Tootsy realizes that's very much a possibility and gets out of there. Make 2 points wide. So it's actually pretty close between the two there, with a small lead here from Angreifen over Twisted Tootsy, and it's only getting bigger for now. Light machine guns there for Angreifen's Grenadier. Twisted Tootsy still not much there. So he's not too far off here from a tank. And there you go, 50 caliber moves so close to the incendiary on his runs and gets shredded there, down to less than half health already in a matter of a couple of seconds. But there you go, done with that. Means the half can now have to try and flash it out. Here's a vehicle supporting it, and the south half never repulsed by Angreifen's infantry mass. And there you go, machine gun crew out. Pioneers could very well also be pushed away there, and further up north, Panzer going to give us the major, leaving him, well, dead. Southern fuel point there being grabbed by Grenadiers. Back here, healing reinforcement going up. Well, reinforcement going up for Twisted Tootsy. 50 caliber setting up. Might have a chance of taking out the 2-2. If it doesn't get him murdered first, because he's taking a lot of fire from the MB42 and the 2-2. Good hit there, but almost lost the 50 caliber in the process. Angreifen still not with the doctrine though. And then good Twisted Tootsy coming to regular Sherman. He needs something to pressure Angreifen with. And he can't, I guess, afford to wait for anything bigger. So it's going to be the Sherman. North here. Angreifen continues to push here with the lone Panzer Grenadier squad, infiltrating Twisted Tootsy's lines and causing havoc. Should probably consider a bung grenade there, maybe. There we go. Goodbye to Ladnung. Not the way he's thrown it. Out! Baited the lieutenant into it. Well played there. Angreifen gets another whack on Twisted Tootsy. Things are not looking good for him despite an early aggressive start. The unit preservation of Twisted Tootsy as usual seems to be the sort of point where he tends to fall a bit apart with the infantry, and based in this case Angreifen has been very much on it, just looking to exploit it every turn. Pushing back, and in this case he can replace the lieutenant easily. So that's less of an impact against Twisted Tootsy. Obviously it's still pretty good since he of course gets rid of the veterans. And there you go, Pack 40 caught on the opening. If we could get the Pack 40, that'd be great for Twisted Tootsy. Would be a bit of a problem there for Angreifen. But there you go, to moving in. We could see the half to go down as well. And there you go, pop goes the weasel. Sherman though is moving in here, should be able to take it out. There, 2-2 almost down. Pop smoke, but yeah, taken out here through the smoke. Could go for the Pack 40 next, fighting around the Cough point. We can get rid of that Pack 40. There we go. Almost got it, almost got it. Angreifen falling back here from around the Cough point. Twisted Tootsy strikes back for America. And there you go, the Pack 40's down. Telemine's being attempted, but could get spotted here by the Sherman. There we go, just retreating, doesn't finish it. He can try to bother giving it away. He's doing it. Should probably try and nab that Pack 40, and otherwise just keep pressuring Angreifen to seize as much territory as he can, at least extend the front line as fast as possible. And there we go. Angreifen more or less figured what's going to happen there. Almost got the Pack 40 crew there, but not quite. Companies are going for it, not caring about the Sherman. A bit risky there, to be honest. A bit risky. And we can see the Angreifen decides too risky. Oh! We got a bombing run in there, bound there, fragmentation bombs, but too slow. They should have called in from another angle. Mostly just destroys Bart, Y, and sandbags. Rather than need to retreat them before they get obliterated by all of Angreifen advancing Grenadier. Panzer 4 out though. It's going to put some pressure there and Twisted Tootsy additionally. We still got the MG42 in the church. Could get a wipe there. Very likely. Which would be a bit of a loss there for Twisted Tootsy. There it goes down to just the lieutenant and the re-echelons. Things looking pretty rough here for Twisted Tootsy. Got the 50 caliber there being hauled forwards. Back here, reinforcement going for Twisted Tootsy. Another push for the Cough point. And this time though they are supported. There you go, nice and timed Panzerfaust there. Leaving the Sherman in a bad spot, a more easy target for the Panzer 4 to deal with. Almost getting it here, almost getting it. And the fight there, south fighting going on between the 50 caliber and some other elements. Pack forward ready. Ambulance also finally arriving there for Twisted Tootsy, though I would say rather late to the party. Sherman down, and with that, Twisted Tootsy has no arm left. And Angreifen Panzer Flaxi escapes. Twisted Tootsy's got next to infantry armor as well, so the situation is looking pretty bleak here for Twisted Tootsy. Pretty bleak. We could see the 5th cavalry going down as well here to the light machine gun grenadiers with a veteran free. That'd be quite harsh, but in this case they do pull through. Lieutenant boldly dashing forwards here. And we got the half track out. It's going to form a bazooka bust. That we try and turn the tiny against the crouch, the Nazis. And white. Quite a loss there for Twisted Tootsy. Got the assault engineers, I guess, but beyond that, his options are looking not on the grand side of things for sure. Rushing forward here, catching the Grenadiers, going to try and wipe them out here. In this case, going to get caught by another Grenadiers, got much good Panzerfaster. Leaving an easy target for any armor, but there you go, the Grenadiers are suffering heavily for the 5th cavalry, the assault engineers, and there you go, Pack 40 shoots. Got, oh, down it goes. Short lifespan on that half track, and there you go, Twisted Tootsy surrenders, a loss for America. The German army stands victorious here, pushing back the assault here from the 1st Armored Division. A bit of a shoulder fight even further, but still no part of the double features. Certainly highlights some again Twisted Tootsy's tactics and strategy, though in this case again the unit preparation I think further just undid him. And I also think like BARs really would have helped him a lot. They Angreifen once more displays I think some solid defense, some solid plays, some good flanks and maneuvers, and that way just slowly turned the ground. They just beat Twisted Tootsy into a pulp by the end. Also, that crash, that was really lucky getting a wipe on that rifle squad, though that was pretty lucky, but pretty funny. So there you go, hope you enjoyed these matches, hope you enjoyed this double feature. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, share with your friends, your family, the world. Share the propaganda. If you like what we do, you can also donate or pledge on Patreon so we can keep doing these videos. Links in the video description for that. This is Imperial Lynching. Cheers, you all one for audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.